If we can get the audio sorted out. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you for joining us today for the ClickUp and Integromat webinar, where we are going to cover automating enterprise workflows to bring all your tools together, make sure all your teams stay in sync, and simplify your lives. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to start off with some introductions. This is a co-hosted webinar between ClickUp and Integromat. I am Omar McAdam. I'm part of the product team here at ClickUp, and I work a lot with the integrations and automations and finding ways to make your lives easier. And joining us today, we have Jessica, Head of App Partnerships from Integromat, and Daniel as well, App Solutions Architect from Integromat. So we've got two experts here on working with how to bring everything all together in one place. Jessica, would you like to say a couple of words?
Sure, definitely. Yes, we still. Yes, sorry about that. Of course, there's always a little sound thing at the beginning. Yes, my name is Jessica, and I'm Head of App Partnerships at Integromat. And we are certainly very excited to be here today to be sharing with you Integromat and also how we are able to extend some of the integrations that you can do with ClickUp. I think it's really cool to also mention that we are ClickUp users as well. And so some of these integrations are even spawned out of things that we need to do for our own processes. So we are first and foremost really hands-on in understanding the power of what an integration solution for ClickUp can really mean for a business to really extend what you're able to do.
Thank you very much. And Daniel, would you like to give a little intro?
Sure. Hello, guys. My name is Daniel. As Omar said, I am the solutions architect at Integromat, and my job is simple. I just need to figure stuff out. And for today, I was the guy who prepared the automations, which we will be working with. So stay tuned. It's going to be awesome.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Daniel. So for everyone who is joining us on the webinar live, I would like to ask you, let's see who's who. If you would be so kind as to introduce yourself a little bit, share what your role is, which organization you are with, and just a little bit about your industry. By asking you to introduce yourselves, it helps us to fine-tune the content of the webinar to suit you better, but also to ensure that we're covering all of the bases. So we can already see that we have Nicholas Timms saying good evening, Nicholas. There is a question already that has been answered. Perfect. We have Simon Tarver from York in the UK, training and development using ClickUp as a CRM. Very nice. We have Mike Wiggins from Deliveroso. We have a Daniel, got two Daniels in the webinar today. We have Amy Dimas, Communicate Excellence, Watertown CT. I'm a communication trainer and coach. Ooh, that's very interesting and beautiful. We have Tim Little, software consultant at Tim Little Tech. That's a beautiful little name in San Diego. San Diego, the home of ClickUp. We have Kjetil Grosland. Hello and welcome. We have Frank Floor, Karen Burchard, Natalie Simmons, Herman, Mike, Russell, Michelle. We've got quite a lot of beautiful people here joining us. We have a lot of industries today. This is very interesting. House cleaning business, QC lab manager. Max is using ClickUp as a PM tool for an enterprise digital agency. Wow, this is beautiful. Zen Pilot, we have John from Zen Pilot, again, Mark from San Diego. We've got quite a lot of beautiful people. Gonzalo from Argentina. Let's see how far away we can go. I work for Fitness Marketing Machine as an automation expert. Ooh, this is going to be right up your alley, Ashikur. We have another Dan, lawyer. Okay, so we have a lot of beautiful things. Gabriel from Brazil. We have from Slovenia. We have Italy, Florida. Wow, beautiful. Thank you everyone very much. And we've also got someone who says, like Daniel, a solutions finder. Nicholas Timms, thank you very much for that. Thank you all for sharing your introductions. I will be reading through them as we go through the webinar here. So don't worry if you've typed it in and I haven't given you a shout out. If we do shout out everybody, it will take quite a few hours to get through everything. We've got people from all over the world. Again, Chris, Amy, Kristen, Angel, Shannon, Gina, Susan, Karen, Nonso. Thank you all very, very much. Now let's do something a little bit different. Are you a ClickUp user? If you are already a ClickUp user, let's give a thumbs up or a check mark and see how many people here are already a ClickUp user. And we'll watch the chat for all of the incoming emojis here. If you're not, feel free to give a thumbs down. Just lets us know approximately how many people are users versus not, so we can again just fine tune things a little tiny bit to make sure that we cover all of the bases. Okay, we got lots of yeses coming in, lots of yeses coming in. Brilliant, we've got a few no's. I've spotted a couple of no's in there, okay. All right. Very nice, very nice. I'll read out a couple more shout outs. We've got Max saying he is, Simon saying, looking at the link for budgeting out of ClickUp to announce system. Okay, we'll have to check that out. Lucas is not a user. Okay, brilliant. We got someone very enthusiastic here. Mark McQueen saying, yes, 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 definitely. Thank you very much, Mark. Let's turn it around a little bit. Are you an Integromat user? If you're an Integromat user, same thing, give a thumbs up, say yes, or give a tick. If not, you can give a thumbs down, do that red symbol, I never remember the names of emojis, or type in no. Then we can start to fine tune things and work out the best way to share stuff. Okay, so we've got a few yeses. We've got an Integromat partner there. Ooh. Someone's starting out. Okay. Very nice. So people, users of both, some not yet, some are users of Integromat, but not ClickUp users, and all the way through. Okay, brilliant, perfect. Thank you very much, everyone. So we're going to do our best to cover all of the bases. While we are in the webinar, you will have a Q&A section or tab, and you can always ask questions in there. When you ask the questions in there, it keeps it a little bit away from the rest of the chat and will allow us and the supporting team here today to go through and answer all of your questions. Alongside us today, we also have Holly Peck from ClickUp, Brandon Isaacs from ClickUp, and Lindy Merwin. So if you see those names answering questions in chat, they are part of the ClickUp team, and we will all do our best to ensure your questions are answered. Let's move on now. So first of all, we're going to ask Jessica just to share a little bit about Integromat. So for those of you who are not Integromat users, you may want to pay a little bit more attention. Everybody should be paying attention because there's bound to be some nice, cool things in here. And I'm going to now share Jessica's screen. So Jessica, take it away.
Sure. Thank you for that. And thanks for the introduction. It's really cool for us to see who is already Integromat users and who is not yet. So we're very excited to be sharing with you a little bit more about Integromat and really where it kind of fits in the world of integration and automation platforms and how it can and may be useful for you. Integromat is growing globally. We have currently over 500,000 users all over the world, most of which are in America, being a third of our users. A third of it is in Western Europe, and then a third is dispersed all over the world. So we have Integromat is slowly taking over the integration sphere, and it's trusted by some of the biggest companies out there to help them run their integrations, and some of those being even enterprise level. So what really is Integromat? Well, really what it is, it's an integration platform that enables one to connect their different apps together to automate workflows, and it's done all within a no-code visual builder. So this is something what a scenario can look like that you can build. You simply are dragging and dropping the different applications you use together to create an automation, and you can set it to run for you when you need. This can really explode what you're able to do with your favorite applications and really start to extend the possibilities of some of your favorite apps, some of which like ClickUp. So Integromat, really what it can do is it allows you to extend the possibilities of ClickUp and allow you to use it in the ways that you really need to use it and connect it to the other apps that you use to automate all sorts of business processes. But where Integromat really shines is its robustness and flexibility that our platform really offers, that goes beyond just simply connecting apps together to transfer data from one app to another. You can really work with it to create more complex workflows and really transform data from one app to another if that's what you need, and really automate processes. This is due for a number of reasons. We have a number of filters, functions, and other tools available on our platform that allow you to really work as you need to. So you can tailor every scenario as you need. So you can transfer data from one app to another. You can also build multi-step integrations. So this means you can include as many steps or many apps as you need with one integration flow. You're never limited, no matter what plan you're on, in terms of how many steps you're allowed in, say, one scenario. It is there for you to build to actually fulfill any sort of scenario integration that you need. So with ClickUp, you can connect it to your entire other business stack if you need to, or having it extend even automations within ClickUp to extend what you need to do. And Integromat has access to over 850 ready-made apps. So we have created integrations or app connectors for around 850 other popular SaaS companies out there. So we have them ready for you to already connect and build in. It's just a matter of creating a connection to ClickUp and a connection to your other accounts and pasting them together. And the best thing is if we haven't built it yet, we also have accounted for that. We have generic connectors that allow you to connect to any public API to connect your services together and make that automation happen for you. And beyond that, really what you're able then to do is really manage your business processes automatically. And it's done all within our visual builder. Integromat allows you, because of how it is built, and you can see here with our builder right here, you can really start to build building blocks together. It's almost like Lego pieces that you can simply build together and connect together in all sorts of ways that really suit your own workflows that you need. So it's just a matter of dragging and dropping these circles together, creating a connection to your accounts that you need, and then placing in the logic that you might need in order for it to do. You can even create it going in multiple directions, as you see here, and as I'm sure Dan will show you in our demo as well, to really account for more complex use cases. Anything that you probably or possibly need to do in terms of an integration, you can easily do with Integromat without any coding or need of a developer. So how to get started? Well, today we'll show you how to actually get started in terms of how to create that build and really what you can do that can really extend what you can do with ClickUp. But to get started before that, we of course suggest signing up. We are offering here today a special promo for ClickUp users, which is actually 1 month of our business plan for free. And that is our $99 plan. All you need to do is sign up with this link here to receive that promo. Then you can enter into our visual builder. There you can start to build any integrations that you need, or you can build off of any of our pre-made ClickUp integrations. We have created a few that are ready-made and are easy for you to get started and take you through a build step by step, or you can use it as that beginning training tool to help you start to build the integrations that you need. Lastly, if you're finding you're needing a little bit more and you're ranging a little bit more into that enterprise plan, as we are here today and are at that 200 or 2,000 plus employee range, we also do have an enterprise plans ready for that, which we're more than happy to connect with you on and share a little bit more information on that with the contact information there. So with that, I think we want to see probably more of what the demo looks like and really how we can build integrations for ClickUp using Integromat. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Jessica. So you've all had a little bit of an introduction into Integromat. We are going to go in a little bit deeper. For those of you who didn't have enough time to write down the offer address, it's sign up 1 month for free, displayed on your screens right now. Just follow that link there and you will be able to sign up and get 1 month free of the Integromat business plan. But let's talk a little bit about ClickUp for those of you who are not ClickUp users. We are not going to spend the whole webinar on ClickUp. There's a lot of things to cover. So if you are not a ClickUp user and after this webinar, you still have a lot of questions, feel free to ask at the end and we can direct you to the best resources to learn about everything. But in order to best show you ClickUp, let's first talk about what ClickUp is. So ClickUp is one app to replace them all. It's far too often that you find yourself jumping from one app to another, having to find bits of data, pieces of information, things getting lost down the side of the sofa because you didn't put the post-it note on your desk in time. So ClickUp is the one place to help you stay organized and productive. Plan your days, plan your work, keep things all in check, and be able to associate all of your different work items together. One of the key things or the core functions of ClickUp is essentially tasks or to-do items. And these are all individual data items that you can have organized into folders, organized into spaces, and have various lists of items that you want to keep track of or take actions on. It works perfectly for product and project management in any kind of system that you use, whether you prefer the old school waterfall systems or you're absolutely super modern with agile. Whatever you want to do and however you want to do it, it's there. But it takes it one step further by allowing you to communicate with your team directly on work items, and therefore all communications and related items can stay in one place together. And of course, if you have to keep documents or documentation for items, there is also documentation and wiki features, allowing you to essentially group everything together, keep it organized and accessible. And if you want to work in a spreadsheet system, those same tasks that you create as action items can be organized into a spreadsheet style system, allowing you to view and work through things. And of course, it works directly with your email, allowing you to pull in or indeed send emails from ClickUp across to all of your users and to all of your organizations. Here are some cool key features that many of our users absolutely love. Alongside documents that we've already mentioned, there's custom fields where you can add custom data and keep it organized. There are automations that can take actions when you do some actions within ClickUp. There's dashboards, relationships to keep pieces of data connected together, and clips to record your screen and share information with your colleagues. So let's have a little bit of a look at what a workspace actually looks like within ClickUp. So this here is ClickUp. Welcome. You have your navigation alongside the left. And in this example here, we've split it up into being separate teams operate out of what is called a ClickUp space. A space can contain a single folder or multiple folders, and folders contain lists. Now, lists can also live directly within a space. They don't need to live within a folder, but it just helps you to stay organized and it helps you to stay structured. So let's take a little bit of a look at how, for example, the marketing team. The marketing team have a promotional calendar, and this here is their data with custom fields. So deal is a custom field. It allows them to quickly, rapidly select and modify a piece of data and keep it organized and structured. And you're never going to find anybody putting 2 and then the letter O and then, I don't know, a wrong character instead of 20%. It's all perfectly there and keeps everything consistent. You have your durations. So this here is a list view. This allows you to see everything in a list grouped by their status. So as we can see here at the top, we have a beautiful group by. You can also group items by almost anything in ClickUp. So if I wanted to see everything or I wanted to group by all of my deals according to their percentage, I can now see these are my 50% off deals. I can now instantly see them, take actions on them. Opening up a task, we can now see here that a task can have a description. And this here is beautiful, rich text, because you can also embed items, put banners, celebrate, do whatever you want in here. It's all completely flexible and allows you to do it. You can have subtasks. So for the Thanksgiving or Black Friday deal, if you wanted to have a subtask of make the announcement, you can have it in here, and it can have its own data and attributes and due dates and comments and everything. So ClickUp is the one place to bring everything together, keep everything organized, create different types of views to show you different types of data, and help your team stay organized, structured, and it saves you quite a lot of time, one day a week. And just setting everything up is absolutely beautiful. Being able to have your YouTube videos directly in here, etc. Everything works perfectly. That is the basics of ClickUp and how ClickUp can be organized and set up. There are a lot of features, and we have a lot of webinars on the individual features. If you are interested in something specific that we mentioned today or that we showed today, for example, if you say, hey, how do you get these fancy, how do you get the fancy colors showing up on the screen, etc., feel free to ask in the chat, and we will try to direct you to the right place to master ClickUp. We have a few questions and items here. We have Karen saying, each of my clients has a folder in the client space, and each one has my to-dos along with specifics for that client. And this is one of the beautiful things about ClickUp, is the flexibility allows you to create almost any hierarchy of data or structure of information or tasks or action items or milestones and fit it in within your system. It is flexible enough to work with your current workflows, but it's also rigid enough to allow you to adopt new systems into your workflows and work with them. Let's have a look then at what we're actually going to be talking about today. So today, in order to show you how everything comes together, we're going to create a little bit of a demo company. So the company is called Acme Inc. Very common name if you come from watching cartoons from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Acme Inc. is a supplier of software licenses. They sell software licenses. They use ClickUp to manage all of their items in one place, but their sales team uses Pipedrive to capture the leads. This Pipedrive down here. They use QuickBooks for their accountants because their accountants like to use the classics, and they use Slack for team communication because it's a tool that allows them to do a lot of cool things and attach a lot of cool bots. Everything ties together beautifully using Integromat. So what we're actually going to go through and do is, yes, okay. I did just spot one small issue, but essentially we are going to start to work in ClickUp, and we're going to see how the data can come in via all of the additional tools. So what I'm going to do now is display a little form on the screen there. And this form here is essentially a lead capture form. The lead capture form is hosted in Google Forms, just to show you how flexible it can be. And then Daniel is going to take us through a little walkthrough. Once you all start submitting your forms, going to show us how the items arrive in Pipedrive. And from there, we're going to take some next actions. So we're going to put a little clock on this just to make sure that we don't spend too long waiting for everybody to submit their forms. Feel free to put in false or fake information. You don't have to put in your real email address. You don't have to put anything that you don't want to put. If you do put anything in there, please be aware that we may show it on the screen. So if you don't want your name or you don't want your email address being displayed on screen and going up to YouTube later on, or if you're watching on YouTube, being displayed on YouTube, please ensure you use something false in there. Daniel, are you ready?
Yes, I am ready. I'm watching the submissions. So far, we have like 6, 7. So let's.
Okay. So we already
give
have
it one more minute. We really need just 2 or 3.
So as you guys can see on Daniel's screen right now, he has Pipedrive open. And what's happening right now is that as you are all submitting the forms on Google Forms, it's going through Integromat and then being added into Pipedrive. And don't worry, we will show the configuration after we're done with the walkthrough here. But is there anything ready to see there, Daniel?
Yeah, let's go. So I will just dump the new leads, our new fake leads, into Pipedrive, and it will start appearing on my screen. So there is now automated process running, and the fake deals, so to speak, are being filled into Pipedrive. And as Omar mentioned, we are a fake software company, and we are mainly in B2B sales. So the typical lead flow or deal flow in case of Pipedrive is that a new deal comes in, we make first contact, we figure out whether the client is interested in demo or not. And if the client is interested, we move the contact, we move the deal into that stage in Pipedrive. So these are all stages. And when we move the deal to the demo scheduled phase, we want to create a task in ClickUp and a few subtasks, because the demo will require getting an attendee list. It will require doing a dry run internally, so we know what we are talking about in front of the client. It will require preparing a proposal. And if the client is happy with everything, he may want to buy the licenses. So at the end of the day, we also need to get billing details from the client. And for all what I just described, we need to create task in ClickUp. Normally, you would probably have to go and create them manually, but with Integromat running in the background, we can do it automatically. So let's say I take this first deal, which I like, I put it to contact made phase. Now, let's say we made a contact and the client is ready to go for the demo. So I will move it to the demo scheduled phase. And as soon as I move it, magic will happen behind the scenes, which we will later explain. So I'm now moving to demo scheduled phase. I will open the deal. And in a few moments, Integromat will automatically create tasks in ClickUp, and it will post a note showing that the job was done, and we have linked to the main task and 4 links to the subtasks. And when I open the link in ClickUp, I see the main task and the subtasks. And now I believe it's over to you, Omar.
Yeah, I was watching my screen here as Daniel moved that across. And as you can all see, the exact item that was in Integromat, in Pipedrive, ended up getting created here in ClickUp. And I just switched over. If you're wondering why things look a little bit different, I used a different view. This here is our traditional list view, and there is a board view style for those of you who prefer it. Now we can see this task here is sitting in to do. And if we open it up, it actually came in with the data of the Pipedrive ID, a direct link to open up the deal in Pipedrive. We can see when it was created, and it also pre-added in some subtasks. So we have a get an attendee list for the demo, do a test demo run internally, prepare an offer, and get billing details. This here was completely automated. Nobody did any manual work to bring this in. And this here could be something that you set up to bring in your leads or contacts or applications into ClickUp, but have a pre-filtering system. Daniel, if you want to just move in maybe a couple more, just so people can see them as they arrive directly here in ClickUp. We do have a couple of questions here. This progress bar is actually a ClickUp feature. And this progress bar is an automated progress bar that calculates the percentage of subtasks, checklists, and assigned comments completed. So because this task has 4 subtasks, if I move one of these now into completed, and then now we go back out, we should see this deal is 25% complete. That was fully automatic and fully automated, so it allows you from a very high level overview to get an idea of how far along a task actually is. So what we want to do is we want to take one of these deals and we want to move it along. So if you remember, we said this company sells software licenses, they bring in their leads from Pipedrive, but then they also use QuickBooks and they use Slack for their whole teams. So what we want to do now is we've already looked at this one here. Let's take this deal Bowie and we're going to ask you guys, do you want this deal to be a win or a lose? Do you want this deal to be a successful deal? Or do you want this deal to not crash and burn, but to kind of just disappear? Okay, we've got quite a few wins. We've got wins, wins, wins. Wow, a lot of people want the deal to win. Okay, all right. So let's do that then. Daniel, are we ready for the deal to win?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Okay, so one of the things that we want to do, if we start to tick off these items here, we can mark various items into in progress. We can prepare an offer. We can get the billing details. So we can do this. And just because it's slightly escaping here, what we need to do is once you have started to discuss with the person, you see here we have a get billings details. Then we need to fill in the person's name. So let's do in here, oops, we can go and 123 Avenue Street and the city and the company name. We could be here for hours, so I'm just going to do things super rapidly here.
Yeah, please add a legit country that will be needed. So it goes to
a legit country. The one thing I skipped over. Let's do Spain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do typical Hollywood style 555-315-4545. Although there's one too many in there. And let's do a postcode 90210 and number of licenses. Now you see here, we're putting in the number of licenses that this deal potentially has. So if we say this deal wants 100 licenses and the cost is, should we say 5, 10? We'll say 10. There we go. It's a nice round number. If you spot this field down here, this is one that you don't actually fill up. And as soon as I click away, this is a calculated field. So this field here calculates automatically based on the number of licenses that you have and the price per license. Somebody is saying 999. Okay, let's go 9999. These are expensive licenses. I don't know what software that we're selling, but these are expensive licenses. Thank you very much for the suggestion, Nicholas. Okay, so now we have all of the billing information and details in here. So what do we want to do?
We want to complete it.
All right. Somebody's asking, is the number of licenses, is it a Pipedrive field or a ClickUp field? It is a ClickUp field. However, if you do have that within Pipedrive, you can also synchronize various items across to be filled in the respective parts. We just didn't set that up within this demo here, just to simplify the workflow a bit and show you some of the features within ClickUp. So we said we're going to win. So we're going to close this deal.
Wait, you need to mark it complete, not close, complete. That's the winning.
That's the winning. Okay, so we
Yeah.
marked it as complete. And now let's go back to Daniel's screen, who will show us some cool things that have happened.
Yeah, well, actually, it's already happening on your screen now on mine. But the moment Omar marked the subtask as complete, there was a magic listening for this event in the background. And we automatically created a new customer in QuickBooks, which I can visit now. So we can see that all the fake details were successfully transferred to QuickBooks. So the address, names, etc., emails, phones, it's all here. And at the same time, we also created a new invoice for the client so he can pay for the licenses and so he can start using the software. And when I open the link, I will be directly taken to QuickBooks, to the invoice page for the particular client. And here it is. So again, we have the customer name, customer email, billing address, number of licenses, price, and it's all here. And as a nice touch, we are also adding an estimated price in euros because some people might want to see it in euros. In this scenario, we were not actually sending the invoice to the client because we don't want to. We want someone from finance to actually review it and give it a green light. But if you wanted to, you could also send the invoice automatically to Integromat. So no one would even have to come here. And that's how the magic works. However, I guess the situation is not always as bright, Omar, is it?
No, sometimes you do end up losing a deal as much as you work really hard on doing it. Sometimes deals just fall through, or even if you think you've captured it and that's it and everything is going to go perfectly fine, sometimes stuff does go wrong. So let's take this example here. Let's say that we gave them the invoice and they suddenly thought about it twice and they went, you know what, it's a little bit too much. We don't want to end up spending that amount of money. You know, 10,000 for 100 people is a little bit high. Or would you rather do it with a clean one, Daniel?
I would do it with this one.
Okay.
And
so
wait a second. I would also mention that one more thing which I forgot. When we created the invoice in QuickBooks and the customer, we also got a notification to Slack, a celebrating message, which is showing, yay, a new invoice is ready for client, and your manager or your coworkers can simply click to ClickUp, click to Pipedrive, click to QuickBooks to get more details. At the same time, we also, let me check. We've also won the deal in Pipedrive. Let me find the guy. It was this deal both. And we also added the same note to that deal in Pipedrive. So everything stays in sync and we mark the deal complete, right? So in Pipedrive terms, that means the deal was won and it's all green, it's all beautiful. But as Omar hinted, it's gonna go south in a bit. So let's go back to ClickUp and let's see what happens if we actually kill the main task.
Yep. So we did see some people asking, is it a two-way synchronization? And I think that there very clearly answers the question. The changes done in ClickUp, the data adjusted in ClickUp can go anywhere, and the data from anywhere can go into ClickUp. That's why in Slack, you have one single message with all 3 links in there, allowing your team to just simply click and see the relevant parts for them. Somebody is asking, will you show us this integration in configuration in Integromat? We will show you. We are going to have to speed up the time a little bit so far, but we will show you the basis of this setup in Integromat. But before we do that, we want to see what happens when a deal gets canceled. Are we ready, Daniel?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so imagine you've already sent the invoice And imagine that your team's already celebrating, everybody took a day off, everybody's super happy, but then the customer says, it's too much, I'm not interested anymore. So once we've moved it to canceled, what happens is that the deal gets killed automatically in Pipedrive. And if we go back to Daniel's screen now, we can see that automatically Pipedrive noted that the deal has been lost. But now you're going to think, well, we already had the invoices in QuickBooks. So Daniel, you want to show us what happens with the rest of the flow?
Yeah, sure. So when I go to the deal in ClickUp, there will be also links. There should be links to QuickBooks. For some reason, it's not there yet. I think the process is still running, so let's give it a few moments. Sometimes, it takes a few seconds. I am wondering. But wait a minute, Omar, we killed the subtask, right? Or was it the main deal? Oh,
We
sorry,
have killed the main deal.
The main deal. That was supposed to be killed. Let's kill it one more time. No.
Maybe it's already updated in QuickBooks.
No, I see it's dead in
Pipedrive.
In Pipedrive. I see it was killed in ClickUp, obviously, but I don't see it killed in QuickBooks yet because the invoice, when I refresh it, the invoice is probably still alive.
Maybe QuickBooks is so insistent that it wants to send out such a large invoice. It's super excited. It's like, I don't want to let you cancel it, please.
Let me do it one more time.
All right, we'll give it a second go. There is a chance that I accidentally clicked something in the wrong order. But as the solutions architect, Daniel will be able to figure this out.
Yeah, it's a good time to figure stuff out now.
We can actually take, that's okay. So essentially what is configured is that once an item has already had an invoice issued, if you cancel it from within ClickUp, then what will happen is that it tells QuickBooks to cancel the invoice. Obviously, trying to do this live right now, QuickBooks may have some delays on their API, or some items may be waiting to go to their API. Not every organization has such a super fast API like ClickUp and Integromat. So we can maybe check back with it in a little bit. And we can see those actions done. But there should also be a message in Slack referencing that a deal has died.
Yeah, it is there, of course. It is there actually twice because we killed the deal twice. So we have, oh no, deal just died messages. And of course, we could go back to ClickUp, back to Pipedrive. And that's how the flows looks. I'm looking at the deals which are coming in, but for some reason, it's not matching the statuses. I don't know what's missing there right now.
Okay. I am seeing a couple of questions. There is, why do you have a closed deal and complete in statuses? It's just semantics. You could set it to anything you wanted according to your organization's workflow and internal references, etc. A closed deal may not be paid or completed. Maybe it's something that's been passed off to another team. This is entirely optional and up to you to set up on your part. What we're going to do now, just to be aware of the time and to ensure that we give you as much information as possible, let's switch over and let's have a look at how things are working behind the scenes in Integromat. So everything is cross-connected with Integromat, and Daniel will right now just give us a quick walkthrough of the flows, And then we can reference it back to what we just saw in terms of all of the cross communications between everything and see how the various parts come together in Integromat. Daniel.
Okay, so when we look at the first scenario, which was basically a very simple one, at the beginning you submitted your forms and we had to ingest them into Pipedrive. And this is what this scenario does. So a scenario that's basically basic building item in Integromat, and the scenario consists of apps which are represented by modules. So each dot, these big dots, those are modules, and essentially information is passing between those modules. And you start from left and you move to the right. So when you submitted your forms, we listened for the changes. Changes were captured, and first we created an organization in Pipedrive with your company name. Then we created a person with the person name, and then we created a deal associated to that person. And when we look at our both deal, we can see that that person is associated to the organization, and the whole thing here is deal. When we look at the modules itself, what you can do, it's very simple. As Jessica mentioned, it's all very visual and very user-friendly. So when you want to pass and move variables around, you can actually just drag and drop into fields and tell Integromat which value should be taken from the previous modules and used for which field in the actual module. And that's how you actually build the integrations. Obviously, this first integration, it's very simple one, it's one way, and it's just to warm you up. But in order to keep both systems in sync, we had to create two more scenarios. So one scenario was for listening for changes in Pipedrive, and the other big one is for listening for changes in ClickUp. And based on those changes in the two systems, we act upon those changes. So when I look at the scenario which is listening for Pipedrive changes, the things get a little more complicated. So at the start, we have deal webhook, and we are basically listening for every change possible in Pipedrive. And then it gets really interesting, and that's where Integromat shines. We can basically decide based on the incoming event what should happen. So imagine like you are coming to a traffic light and you need to act somehow, right? So if the light is red, you stop. If the light is green, you move forward. And then it's simply very similar with the scenario. So for example, when we move the deal to the stage demo scheduled, we set up a filter listening for that change. And when that change happened, we created task in ClickUp, and then the 4 subtasks: get attendee list, dry demo, prepare an offer, and get billing details. And as the final step, we also posted a note to Pipedrive that the process was completed, and we updated the deal with ClickUp ID. One important thing here is the question of IDs. So when you work with two systems, you should store the IDs of the task or of the deals in both systems. So you can cross-reference the deals and you have no issues finding those deals in the systems when you are calling them for information. So in Pipedrive, we are storing ClickUp ID. So when I go back to the deal, essentially this is ClickUp ID. And then when I go back to ClickUp, we are storing the Pipedrive ID. And that's the magic to keep the systems in sync. So when I go back to that Pipedrive scenario, to the second route, that's the situation. For example, when you kill the deal from Pipedrive, we can also have that option. So if this was an active deal and we killed it, we marked it lost, the change would be transferred to ClickUp, and all the tasks and subtasks would be also killed. And that's in a nutshell what this scenario does. So as I said at the beginning, we have to listen for changes in Pipedrive and in ClickUp. And this scenario is only listening for changes in Pipedrive and acting upon those changes. When we look at the third scenario, it gets even more trickier. This scenario is listening for changes in ClickUp, and it's acting on those changes. So what can happen in ClickUp? Well, we said that we can kill the main task. And in that case, the deal in Pipedrive should be killed. We should post a comment to the deal, which we did, deal killed in Pipedrive. We posted a message to Slack saying, oh no, deal just died. We marked the billing task as dead because we don't want finance to send the invoice. And for some reason, which was not working, we wanted to kill the invoice in QuickBooks. We wanted to delete it and then post a confirmation message to ClickUp saying, hey, the invoice was deleted in QuickBooks and there is not much to add because the deal is dead. However, not all the things are negative. So at the beginning, we made the deal win and we got the billing details and we send it to QuickBooks where we generated new customer and a new invoice. So that's the billing route. You can add little notes on the top of your filters. So you stay on the top of things and you know what's happening. And when we did that, we searched for the customer in QuickBooks. We decided whether the customer exists or not. And when the customer was not present yet, we created it. We posted a note to ClickUp. And then when the customer is ready in QuickBooks, we wanted to create the invoice, which we did. As the nice finishing touch, which I mentioned, was that we took the USD and we converted it to euros onto that note on the invoice. We created the invoice itself. We posted celebration message to Slack, confirmation to ClickUp, and also we created the note in Pipedrive. So as you can see, you can create very, very complex scenarios in Integromat, and routing, that's a very powerful feature of ours. It's basically if then else for non-programmers. I'm not a programmer myself. I don't know how to code, and yet, you can still build powerful scenarios like this. And that's in a nutshell about Integromat. So you can keep things very simple, but at the same time, you can build very complex integrations consisting of tens, if not hundreds of modules. The only limit is your imagination, basically. And now over to Omar.
So it may look a little bit overwhelming, but there is one amazing gift and tip that I want to share with you. And that is when you come to plan out your automations, when you come to plan out all of your integrations, it really helps to sometimes just get a pen and a paper and then just draw out or write out what you want to happen. When a status changes in ClickUp, I wanted to issue an invoice. Just draw out things or write them out in a list. And then when you come to look into Integromat, it will allow you to easily build out all of the modules and nodes and allow you to create your systems. There's also templates, which will allow you to use templating items. And sometimes it's worth just setting up a little demo area, and you can always create a new workspace within ClickUp or a dedicated folder and just try out and experiment with all of the different triggers and actions and everything that can happen and integrate with it before you say, we're going to implement this within our organization.
Exactly. And, one thing I want to mention is that, as Omar said, this looks frightening, but it's not really. It's just about starting, connecting few modules, 2 or 3, and then you will discover all the features and all the complexities you can manage. And then you'll just get into it, So don't be afraid. Just go ahead and try it, and you will see it's not that difficult as it looks right now.
Yep, you will come to a point where you will end up waking up in the middle of the night being like, ooh, maybe I can integrate my coffee machine. And you can end up just creating the most beautiful workflows, whether it's for across your whole organization, or even if it's just for you and your own workflows and your own processes to just keep things automated and simple. And you can always do that. Build something out for yourself, run it for a little bit, test it, see how it works, find the flaws, but also find the beautiful parts and start to roll it out to everyone else. We did have a few questions of people asking if there is training material for Integromat. Daniel or Jessica, can you speak to the training and academy stuff for Integromat?
Yeah, well, we have a help section, quite vast, on our website. There are also quite a few videos on YouTube, which you can look, and usually very advanced stuff is on the videos and simple stuff is described in articles. As Omar mentioned, we also have lots of templates. Like there are thousands of templates, which are basically preset scenarios for you, where you only need to basically log in into the services you use, decide few things, whether you want to use this variable or that variable, but you are pretty much set up. So the templates can be a huge inspiration for you, and they will make the onboarding experience much easier for you.
Okay, so as we come to wind up here, I'm just going to quick fire answer a few questions that we have. Frank says in the example, data is being pulled or linked from Pipedrive. Can an automation be set up to do the same? Pull data from an Excel sheet or Google sheet with all of the data? Obviously, this would be one-way information share. Daniel, there is Google and file automations, correct?
Yeah, of course. Like we support nearly all Google services. So it's not like Google, it's Gmail, Google Calendar, even Google Cloud stuff, if you are interested in that part. But yes, we support Google Sheets, and in fact, it's one of the most frequently used apps in our scenarios.
Brilliant. We have somebody saying, we just subscribed to Zapier and found Integromat. Can you please tell me the pros and cons? I'm sure if you head over to the Integromat website, there will be a beautiful comparison there where it will show you all the differences between features, etc. Especially pay attention to how they count steps and how they use the different flows. As I'm sure you will be surprised by Integromat's offering. Kevin is saying, could you please explain how to take 2 timestamp data points and subtract one from another to have it show the time difference through Integromat? That's quite a big one. I don't think we can do that live in the 2 minutes we have remaining, Kevin. But if you want, you can always reach out to the Integromat support, which is support@integromat.com, and ask them how they can help you, direct you to do that. And then hopefully they'll give you a beautiful answer. And Ralph is saying, is it possible to create a task through Integromat in ClickUp with a file? That's a very interesting one. It will probably be best to reach out to the Integromat support to get some guidance on that. We don't have too much time remaining here, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Efrain is asking about a BigQuery and sending data.
Yes, it's possible.
Daniel is saying, yes, it's possible. There you go again. And just a final reminder here, everyone, you can sign up and play with Integromat absolutely free. Get their business plan absolutely free for 1 month. Just use the link that's currently written on your screen. Okay, we went through that. I have a 25-year-old bookkeeping firm that I'm in the middle of synthesizing to QuickBooks. Files already exist, and I have to keep the integrity of each file. Check out the integration with Integromat and see it should be able to cover your use cases. So I'm going to say thank you, everyone. Thank you all for joining in. Do we have any final comments from Daniel or Jessica?
I say just try it. Don't be afraid and try it.
Nothing will break. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining today. If you did miss any of the webinar, it will be recorded and put on YouTube. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching until now. Be sure to leave us a comment down below where you can give us feedback and ask further questions. We'll do our best to answer them all. So thank you, everyone, for joining today. Be sure to check out all of the great webinars coming up with ClickUp, and check out Integromat and all of their webinars and all of their blog posts. There are some real amazing ones coming up over there. So saying that now, I'm going to say a thank you very much to everyone. Thank you to Jessica and to Daniel for joining us here today and giving us a preview into this crazy world of possibilities. And that's it. Thank you all, and good afternoon or good evening and good night.